What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video of my F1 2016 mobile career mode. Today we have episode number 29, the penultimate race of season 2 at the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. So as it stands, Nico Rosberg is third in the championship, I am second, and Hamilton is the championship leader. However, we are all separated by just 4 points after the Mexican Grand Prix. There's some gameplay from that on the screen as we speak. So obviously it's very much still anyone's game. Mercedes unfortunately have already wrapped up the Constructors title, but I think that was, well, quite obviously going to happen, wasn't it? It was only a matter of races before that happened. However, if we could potentially nick a Drivers' Championship, then that could be very, very interesting. So stick around to see what's going to happen during this race.
Time for today's race at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit here in Sao Paulo. And as any of the 80,000 capacity crowd will tell you, this is going to be a fantastic race.
So unfortunately on the Saturday I kind of messed up, and this time we're only P7 on the grid after taking our first pole position in Mexico, so that was a little disappointing. At least we have one Red Bull on the second row, and I actually interestingly made it into Q3 on the hard tyre. So we are going for the longest possible distance to start this race, so we're going very long hopefully, if we don't sustain any damage, as we're now revving up to 5 red lights for the penultimate race in Season 2, and it's lights out and away we go in Brazil, and it's a decent start off the line. We've already hit the back of Raikkonen, but unfortunately I'm getting swallowed up there by Hülkenberg and Massa into turn 1. Want to try and avoid any trouble if I can. The AI going very slowly there. I've accidentally run into the back of Raikkonen, and I've already sustained some front wing damage, so it was the commentator's curse has just struck. I said I didn't want any damage, and that's exactly what's happened. And now heading down the retro Aposta for the first time, Sebastian Vettel squeezing me there offline onto the grass and trying to brake nice and early, and in the end we're going to slot in behind the second Ferrari. So underneath all that we've actually managed to gain a place off the line, and maybe Raikkonen's got some damage as well because he's going incredibly slowly, and Nico Rosberg is absolutely running away with this race. The man who's had so many poles this season, it seems, as we're trying to go round the outside of Vettel there, but in the end we go a bit too deep, and that allows Valtteri Bottas and the Williams to get through, and this ring damage is really kicking in now. The front wing damage is really, really bad. As you can see, Hülkenberg already getting past me, and I'm starting to fall back and create a little bit of a train of my own now. So especially because we're on the hard tyres, we're going to be particularly slow, especially throughout these opening couple of laps. Hülkenberg and Bottas both go wide there at Junsao. On the exit we're going to get past both of them and sneak back up the inside, and after all that we're back up into P6. So by the time we come through to conclude lap number 1, we've actually gained a position from where we started. Moving very swiftly onwards now to lap number 2, and look at the understeer I'm still getting from this front wing damage as we go through the middle sector. Both the Ferraris have gone off the track there. We've made contact with Kimi Raikkonen again. However, I have to leave some space on the inside for the Iceman to send it back down the inside, and there he goes. So Raikkonen immediately re-overtakes me. Vettel went very wide as well with him there, so the Ferrari's almost in sync going wide. Raikkonen goes wide again at Junsao. In the last corner I've run into the back of him again, so clearly a little bit of love lost now between myself and the Iceman, because, well, we just keep making contact. I mean, to be fair, most of them have been my fault for not being able to get out of the way, but look at the mini-map as well. It seems to be that the front three are kind of getting away a bit, so that's Hamilton, Rosberg, Ricciardo. As we go round the outside of Raikkonen there, we take a corner cutting warning. However, we've managed to get past the fin. So as I was saying, it looks like Ricciardo has gone with the 2 Mercedes, which is good, and I'm stuck here with the 2 Ferraris and effectively the chasing pack. We're already 4 seconds behind. here we go at the end of the first sector. I've gone deep there, and Raikkonen's going to get straight back past me again. So this is fantastic racing versus the two Ferraris. We're going to try and send it up the inside, are we? We touched again, but I think that was partly due to I couldn't really back out of it because of the front wing damage. It's just costing me too much time heading round through the twisty middle sector again. You can see how hard it is just to stay on the track there. That's another corner cutting warning. That's the second one of this lap as we now get to the, well, effectively what is the last corner. Sebastian Vettel has just spun me off circuit. What on earth is he doing? He's just, I've absolutely lost for words. I have no idea what he's done there, and to be honest, I've had enough. This wing damage is costing me too much time. We're going to box and go for a wing change because this is not working. We need to do something about this. So we're going to pit now for a set of medium tyres and a new front wing. And unfortunately, to make our bad luck even worse, it seems as if this pit stop glitch is occurring again. That basically means that you spend an abnormal amount of time in the pit lane. I think it was nearly 40 seconds in the end, which is just, well, potentially something like 15 seconds longer than what it really should be. And again, the way that it slows you down on the pit exit, I don't know why it does that. It's probably because this is quite an old game now. It's probably quite dated compared to some of the modern F1 games. But anyway, we've come out of the pit lane in second to last place with only Hulkenberg behind us. So we digress. Lap number 5, Marcus Ericsson. We're going to absolutely send it down the inside of the Sauber there. I've had a few laps in clean air, and now I need to try and make the most of my pace. And unfortunately, we can't get past the Swede. So he's actually holding me up really well here. There's absolutely nothing I can do, and this is costing me time because I need more time in clean air to relinquish my true pace, because otherwise we're going to get overcut by the likes of the Ferraris. However, Ericsson goes a little bit wide there. We're now going to try and sneak up the inside, and that is up into P20. So thankfully in the end he didn't cost us too much time, I don't think, battling against him. But now this is the following lap in the exact same location. We've got Jenson Button, who actually just rejoined the pits in front of me on the end of that lap. So I hope that's not a sign of things to come, being undercut by everybody as we go to the outside there, DRS assisted, and there are more cars in the pit lane, so it doesn't look like we're going to get overcut by that many people. Some of the midfield runners, we've got Felipe Massa leaving the pit exit now. It looks like we're almost going to be side by side with the man in his home Grand Prix, so he's got the home crowd here is the Williams. However, well, I'm not going to waste any time at all. He's on the same tyres. However, the difference is they're freezing cold. We absolutely send it to the inside, and we're up into P14. So we're trying to do exactly what Lewis Hamilton did in real life at this year's Brazilian Grand Prix. As we now move on to lap number 7, we've got another car leaving to go into the pit lane. That is a Manor. I think it was Verline. We've got a couple more cars in the pit lane, and is this going to potentially push me into the top 10? I think it is. There's Kvyat round the outside at turn 1. That was a lovely move there through the centre S. And we've got Valtteri Bottas leaving the pit lane as well in the Williams. So this is a good sign. This is kind of where we were, and especially because we were longer in the pit lane because of the glitch and had a front wing change, this is not potentially a bad sign as we try to close up to the flying fin there. He goes a little bit wide. We're going to try and have a half look there. Bottas still side by side. I have to leave some room. This is some fantastic racing that's occurring here at Interlagos. Eventually we managed to keep it round the outside. A bit of a tyre on the grass, but it doesn't matter, and we've got the move stuck on him. And next is Fernando Alonso just a few corners later going into Junsao. We're going to see if we can maybe look to make a move there. Alonso goes a bit wide, and that's going to allow me to get past the Spaniard as we go on to the start-finish straight. Technically the start-finish straight's not very long, as you've got a couple of, you know, corners as you saw there, and the whole embanked curve is very nice, but you can take it flat, which is why I think the start-finish straight effectively starts from the exit of the last corner, which is Junsao. Anyway, lap number 10 now, and look at this, we're into P5 due to more pit stops being made. We're going to send it on my arch nemesis of this Grand Prix. We're past Kimi Raikkonen, and here's my teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Now hopefully he's just going to wave me through just like that for the championship. Ricciardo puts up absolutely no resistance to me getting past him, and look at that, we're now onto the podium. That's how good our pace has been. We've managed to recover to the podium in 6 laps, 7 laps, so that is absolutely brilliant. However, the downside is we're going to have to pit again in a minute. And that is because visually, I don't know if you guys are able to see that the tyre wear is beginning to kick in, unfortunately. So I'm going to see if we can maybe stretch it for another lap or two just to see if we can go to a set of soft tyres. Anyway, this is Nico Hulkenberg already. Do you remember when we left the pit lane with him at the very same time, about probably 7 laps ago now? Well, guess what? We've just lapped him. So we've effectively got a whole lap ahead of him in 7 laps. That's just showing how good our pace is. But the tyres are on fire now. And at the end of lap 12, we are going to make our second and final scheduled pit stop onto a set of soft tyres. And it's looking pretty good in terms of where we're rejoining. So this mega overcut and the pace I've showed is absolutely brilliant. There goes Vettel and Massa. If the pit lane glitch that slows you down on exit wasn't there, I reckon we could potentially be ahead of both of them. Anyway, the 5 red lights are going out. That means I now have control after we leave the pit lane again, and we're out in P8, so it's not too bad. There's going to be no problems with us scoring points again here today, and we've got the home favourite Felipe Massa in front of me in the Williams again, so we're going to have to try and get past him. But look, already you can see how quick I am on these soft tyres. We're going to already try to have a look down the inside there, but in the end the Williams is really covering me off. He's not going to be able to resist that one though, and neither can I as we send it to the inside. However, the experienced Brazilian's trying to fight me back there. Felipe really squeezing me onto the grass. However, I'm going to really try and make the move once and for all this time. We aggressively shunt him out wide, try to squeeze him off, and we do manage to shake him off. This is lapping Hulkenberg again, who probably went through after I made my pit stop. He doesn't get in the way, and this time we've got Sebastian Vettel, and we're rapidly gaining in DRS range down the inside at turn 1. That was simply lovely, to quote Max himself. And there we go, we're back into the top 5, and we've got Raikkonen just ahead of us. There were some lap cars in the pit lane there, so ahead of us is just Raikkonen, Ricciardo and the 2 Mercedes. So I still think it's going to be possible for us to get a podium here as we try and send it to the inside of Raikkonen again. He's just my absolute arch nemesis. He just won't go away. So it's been a fantastic fight against Kimi Raikkonen today. We had a fantastic battle with him at Silverstone a few races ago earlier on in the season, and now moving on to lap number 15, we've got the lap car of Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein just absolutely parks it on the racing line. I believe Kimi Raikkonen actually made a pit stop, which is why I didn't show you any footage of me getting past him, because I believe I didn't get past him and then he pitted. So anyway, coming towards the end of the lap, we've got my teammate Daniel Ricciardo in the pit lane. Oh no, I really hope that the team haven't screwed Daniel over with the strategy there. But interestingly, we've got another car in the pit lane, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Lewis Hamilton. So the Mercedes, interestingly, are on a 2-stop today, because normally they're on a 1-stop. Rosberg is staying out, so I don't know if he's gone for the alternate strategy of sticking for a 1-stop. This is Felipe Nasr, another Brazilian in his home Grand Prix in the Sauber. Thankfully, there's going to be no issues there. Or are they? Because again, he's still not getting out of the way. Thankfully, round the outside, and that is going to be the move done. So he's not going to bother me any further. So as we head through the middle sector, we are now in P2. However, don't forget, there are just a few laps left. That's a huge error. We go off the grass. We nearly hit the wall. Nasr's going to re-overtake me. And unfortunately now, Hamilton is right behind me. The tyre wear is already starting to kick in. Don't forget, these super soft tyres are nearly 5 laps old. So that means they're only supposed to go for about 7 laps. And there's the tyre wear icon already. There's a lap car in the pit lane. Rosberg 20 seconds down the road. So Nico Rosberg is going to win in Brazil. And now we've got a corner cutting penalty. Oh dear. To be fair, I think that's my first one of the season, but equally, it was unnecessary. This is now the final lap of the Grand Prix, and Hamilton's all over the back of me. The tyres are absolutely dead. They are begging for help. Hamilton's already giving me the big squeeze here. The AI being stubborn as ever, trying not to get off the racing line. Nico Rosberg is your new championship leader, heading into the finale in Abu Dhabi as he wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. But running up to the finish line, there's almost no point trying to defend from Hamilton. He's not going to get a gap that's more than 2 seconds. Look at that, the tyres are screaming for help. We're going to see the checkered flag in 2nd place, but it will be 3rd at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that means we are now 3rd in the Drivers' Championship as well. Well, all things considered, we started in P7, had to make an early pit stop. I think a podium is not too bad. Rosberg wins ahead of Hamilton, then myself with the penalty, ahead of Raikkonen, who kept 4th place despite making an extra stop, ahead of Vettel. Ricciardo P6, not too bad. A 7-8 for Williams, and a 9-10 for Toro Rosso, with Hulkenberg all the way down in last place. I don't know what happened to him today. Clearly the early pit stop screwed him over, and considering he started behind me on the grid, that's not a good sign. But this is how the championship looks heading into the last race. Rosberg now leads for the first time in a long time, 3 points ahead of Hamilton and 8 points in front of me. So we are 8 points behind the championship leader going into Abu Dhabi. So it's all to play for. Realistically, we have to win the race. In the Constructors, Mercedes have already won the Constructors Championship, we already know that, but I think we're looking pretty good for second place as well, which at the start of the season I said I would be happy with, and Renault at the moment are the team at the foot of the table. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video, and we can do no more until we get to the finale, which will be a premiere, so do be sure to keep an eye out for that, and hopefully you can try and make it there when it does go live. Anyway, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Let's get to 400 subscribers. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and join my Discord. Both links are in the description below, and I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.